Hey everyone, I wanted to talk really quickly and run through a scenario on what to do if you as a trader get very lucky with a trade. Lately there have been a lot of people on TikTok and on Robinhood freaking out, showing off about their massive wins. And they're unprecedented. I mean, really, you factor in the fact that you've got all these rookie traders who've never done anything in finance before. They've never traded, they've never owned, they've never invested, and all of a sudden, people are writing me, especially on TikTok, going, I made so much money. What do I do? I should probably fix that. I made so much money on TikTok. What do I do? Or not on TikTok, but they're writing me on TikTok to say they've made so much money. So I want to run through a scenario here with a hypothetical $5 stock. Let's say you purchase a stock at $5 and you buy 1,000 shares. And your goal is to say, if this stock gets to $5.50, I'm going to sell it and I'm going to make $500. You buy a stock on a Monday, you go to bed, you wake up Tuesday morning, you check the news, and you see that there's some humongous news in relation to your stock. A buyout, amazing quarter that you weren't paying attention to and their earnings had come out, or an acquisition, or someone's interested in buying them, whatever. And that stock has gone from $5 to $9. It happens. And you're sitting there freaking out. What do? It's gonna happen. You're gonna get lucky. But there's a caution here, which is to not expect that every single time. And not go, well, hey, I bought it at 5 and it went to 9, so every stock that I buy at 5, I'll sell when it gets to 9 the next day. Don't get any delusions here. While it does happen, it doesn't happen frequently. So what do? You have 1,000 shares, you bought it at 5, it is now $9. You've got a couple options. Option one is to not be as greedy as the other guy, right? That's something I've talked about here a lot. You bought with the intention of selling it at $5.50, and it's $9 now. Your profit was originally you were expecting to pull in $500, and now your profit is $4,000. Option one is to just sell the whole thing, but I know that's not what a lot of people think. I know a lot of people get unbelievably greedy when something like this happens. Well, hey, I bought it at 5 with the intention of selling it at $5.50 and it's 9 now, and that's on Tuesday. So on Wednesday it'll be 12 and I'll have, $8,000 or whatever. And that's I don't know, stupid, I guess, greedy, not thinking clearly. Stocks don't move like this. And I know sometimes they do, right? You want to look at Genius Brands as a reference, right? It was $2, then it was $4, then it was $6, then it was $8, then it was $11.73 at the high. But you don't know that it's going to do that. You don't know that every single stock that has one of these massive rallies is going to go from 5 to 9 to 12 to 15. So when you're faced with a situation like this, what you have to ask yourself is, what would I rather? Would I rather sell here and pull in $4,000? Or would I rather be greedy and hope for 5, 6, 10, 12? I know a lot of you are thinking, I'd rather be greedy because I got debts, I got bills, I got kids, I got a mortgage, I got student loans, I got work. I can quit my job, or I can dial back and stop working overtime. This is going to be a huge, say I can cover a couple months rent, or I can start investing and buying dividend paying stocks. There's a lot of scenarios that start happening here. It probably happens when you buy a lottery ticket too, right? You scratch off and you win $100 on the lottery ticket and you go, well, why end it here? Why end it now? I'm going to go and I'm going to buy two $50 tickets and try to win $1 million. You just want $100, you know what I mean? So option one, sell everything. Your goal is to make 500 and you are up $4,000. Just take your money and be happy that you made 3,500 more than you were expecting to make. Option two is to sell half. You're still up huge, right? You're still up, you bought it at 5, it went to 9, you've got a $4,000 profit. Sell 500 of your shares, take half of your gain. It's still more than $500, which you were expecting to make, and let the other half go. But it's important to remember that if you do that, you want to set up some sort of contingency plan so when the stock starts to drop, as it probably will, to lock in your gains, right? The last thing you want to do is buy it at 5, see it hit 9, and then either not sell half or keep all of it and watch it drop all the way back down to 5. So your next option would be sell half, lock in your profits, and with that remaining 500 shares, keep in mind that it's 9 now, and at any point that it gets below any number you choose, keeping in mind that you want to lock in some of your gains, right? You don't want to ride it all the way back down to 5, because then you know what's going to happen? You're going to get angry and you're going to say, I'm not selling it here. No way. I'm going to hold it and let it go back up to 9. I don't want to lose out on that $2,000 extra. I'm going to hold, and then before you know it, it's going to be $2, and you're going to be going, shit, I should have sold it when it was 8 or 6 or 5. I should have broke even on that other 500 shares. So it's important to keep in mind that you've got scenarios here in which it could go all the way up or it could go all the way down, and you don't know which one it's going to do. So it's always safer to just lock in your gains. I know most people don't want to do that, and most people don't want to think that way. It's very hot in here, but I can't have my air conditioning on because then you can't hear what I'm saying. So option 1, sell everything. Option 2, sell half and say, hey, if it drops to 8, I'll sell it at 8. And that way I'll still make, $1,500 on the other portion of shares, which will pull me in around $5,500 total. That's pretty good. Remember, your plan was originally to make $500. Now you're up $5,500. So if it starts to drop to 8, you sell it. And on the flip side, as long as it moves higher and ticks higher and higher and higher, if that happens, hold it. Let it ride. See what happens. It might get to 12. So then what do you do? If it gets to 12, well, okay, if it gets to 9, the previous low or the previous high is where I'll sell it. It's 12 now. If it gets to 9, I'll sell it. Now let's say it's 15, it's 12, but it goes to 15. I'll sell it when it gets to 12 because that was the previous high. 15, it goes to 19. I'll sell it when it gets to 15. That was the previous high. You keep that in mind, and you can let it go up as long as you want and hold it forever if you so choose. And of course, your third option is to not sell it at all and be greedy and hope that it goes higher. Obviously, I don't recommend that. But I'm not a licensed financial advisor or broker, so I can't recommend anything. I can just share my personal experiences, what I have done, and what I would do in a situation like this. So what would I do? I would sell half. I'd lock in half of my gains, and I'd let the other half ride. And personally, if it dropped to 8, that's when I would take my money. Could go back up to 9, could go back up to 12. But you know what? There's no law that says you can't buy it back. So if you sell it at 8 and then it's 11 the next day, I would say, wait a second. Collect yourself. Don't get carried away. Don't be greedy. Don't sit there and try to chase it to make up for what you lost, because that's when you make mistakes and that's when you eat into your gains. I would just say, all right, it's 11 now. I bought it at 5. It went to 9. I sold half. It dropped to 8. I sold the other half. It's 11 now. That upsets me because that's money that I missed out on, but I don't want to chase it. I'm going to wait. I'm going to hold. I'm going to collect myself, and I'm going to see what's going to happen, because what might happen is that stock might establish a new trading range, right? See, remember your previous trading range was, I'm going to buy it at 5 and sell it at 550. And maybe you came to that conclusion because you had been watching that stock bounce between 5 and 550. So what you do now is you let it settle down. The hype, the hysteria, everyone's talking about it. Let it cool down. Let it go from 11 to 10. And then wait and see what happens. It might take a couple days, might take a month for it to establish a new trading range, and maybe that new trading range is 10 to 11, 10 to 11. And then you can trade that, 10 to 11, 10 to 11, over and over and over, until eventually it's going to break out higher or lower. So I hope that helps. Keep in mind, this will happen. You will get lucky. Don't fool yourself into thinking you're some genius trader, smarter than Warren Buffett or any of that kind of shit that I've been seeing a lot of these rookie traders going around on social media saying. None of you are smarter than Warren Buffett, myself included. But it doesn't mean that we're not going to get lucky. You are going to get lucky. There's an element of luck when it comes to stock trading. A lot of people want to say it's gambling. I don't think it's gambling, although there's probably an element of gambling, but it's more of an educated gamble, as opposed to just, going to the slot machine and pulling the lever and hoping. Anyway, I'm rambling now. I want to keep these videos under 10 minutes, and it's 10 and a half. So maybe I can get it down to 10 minutes if I edit out me knocking over everything on my desk. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe down below and hit the little bell so you can get notifications when I do new videos. Thanks for watching, and have a good night.